Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the American action film, In Hell. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. American Kyle LeBlanc is a foreign employee in Magnitogorsk, Russia. Kyle hurries home but arrives too late to stop his wife's attack after overhearing it on the phone. Due to a lack of proof, Sergio Kovic, the man who raped her and then killed her, buys the judge and is declared not guilty. Sergio is fatally shot by Kyle after he grabs a revolver from a bailiff in front of the entire courthouse. Kyle is furious. He receives a life sentence without the possibility of release for this. He is brought to the dishonest warden General Ryskov's prison, Kravovy. When he gets there, a security beats him up for refusing to surrender his wedding band. The same evening, he sees Andrei, a prison fighter and member of the Russian mafia, drag Billy Cooper, a fellow American prisoner who is 21 years old, to another cell where he will be raped. The guards take a shocked and battered Billy to the hospital the following morning as Andrei enters his cell. Kyle gets into a fight with Andrei after being provoked by him in a manner reminiscent of the murderer of his wife. He is then placed in solitary prison. He tries to hang himself and go on a hunger strike while he is kept in isolation, but both attempts are unsuccessful. He recognizes he must survive when he has flashbacks of his wife. Later, he is moved to a cell with inmate 451, an African-American inmate who has a history of murdering his cellmates, which the sadistic chief of the guards Lieutenant Tolik fears he would do to Kyle. They eventually gain each other's trust, though. Billy, who is serving a year and a half of a term for driving while inebriated and crashing into a restaurant with a female he met, greets him in the prison yard shortly after. Malachi, a fellow American prisoner confined to a wheelchair, introduces him to the politics of the facility and the gangs that exist there, including the Russian mafia's collaboration with the guards. In his games, General Ryskov bets on brawls between opposing gangs. Kyle starts preparing for these bouts despite Andrei and his thugs' relentless bullying of him because he cares about 451. In his first fight, Kyle takes on Andrei. Despite Andrei's experience, Kyle prevails by viciously biting a sizable chunk off of his neck, killing him in pain. He is immediately covered in Andrei's blood, and the terrified inmates and guards watch as he has a mental collapse. He constantly engages in conflict with other inmates throughout his stay, comes to terms with his punishment, and loses himself while still earning respect. He also becomes hardened by his surroundings. Since he believes that nothing will change, he rejects any assistance from his brother-in-law or the American embassy and loses hope that he will ever be freed. The question, "Do you even know who you are?" is posed to him at one point, and 451 himself responds, "Probably not." Billy makes numerous attempts to escape the prison because he is tired of the physical and sexual abuse he is receiving. His first attempt involved running during an outside work detail, and his second involved sneaking out during Russian Independence Day celebrations. The latter attempt fails because Malachi betrays him and alerts the guards to his need for special medication and treatment. After learning of his betrayal, 451 pours flammable fluid on him and, in retribution, sets him on fire. He remembers being abused and molested as a youngster by a teacher, then burning the aforementioned instructor on fire, while he watches Malachi burn to death. Billy is beaten to within an inch of his life after spitting in jail fighter Valya's face after being imprisoned with her for the night in order to be raped. Kyle is given advice by Billy before he passes away, telling him not to allow the jail, the guards, or the other convicts change who he is. Billy eventually succumbs to his wounds. Kyle now understands that in order to regain the guy he once was, he must engage in a new struggle for inner peace. He is publicly hanging by his arms outside after declining to take against Valya in his upcoming duel. The prison gangs decide to set aside their differences and band together after witnessing Kyle's bravery and capacity to persevere through his lengthy imprisonment, and they follow suit by refusing to fight when Ryskov orders it. Soon after being removed from his restraints, Kyle is taken to the hospital. During his rehabilitation, he has dreams about his wife telling him that as long as there is someone to remember them, nobody really truly passes away. After Kyle has recovered, Ryskov confronts him in his cell block because he feels challenged in his position of control. Kyle is forced to meet Milik, a massive prisoner kept apart from the regular population who Kyle kept hearing through the walls during his time in solitary confinement, when he is told that he only wants one final fight. Kyle continually bangs on a door throughout the altercation, which prompts Milik to recognize him because this was his sole means of communication and welcome him as a friend. At gunpoint, a guard commands them to proceed. Kyle declares he will no longer fight and requests the guards kill him instead. As soon as the inmates see this and start to complain, Kyle and Millick turn the tables on the guards and release the inmates from their cells, starting a full-scale riot. Millick is shot and killed while defending Kyle, who consoles him as he passes away from his wounds. Soon, 451 consents to help Kyle break out of the jail. He also provides Kyle the documents he intended to reveal to the U.S. government, which show proof of all the murders and corruption that have taken place in the prison over the past 20 years. Following the riot, 451 shows Kyle a hidden entrance to the prison garage where they will make their next move while the guards are bringing the inmates under control. However, to get access, Kyle will need to engage Valya in one more battle. Kyle prevails in the struggle and fractures Valya's shoulder. Valya, who is furious, draws a knife and makes an effort to stab him, but instead accidentally kills the Russian mafia boss. Kyle then takes advantage of the situation to strike Valya in the head with a pole as payback for Billy's passing. The guards then lead Kyle away to be killed. Kyle throws the other under a car and keeps him at gunpoint while 451 attacks and kills one of them. While 451 stays behind to assassinate General Ryskov for his crimes, Kyle steals the key to his own release and his wedding ring before donning one of the guards' uniforms and fleeing in one of their automobiles. As Kyle makes it out alive, 451 kills the general by tearing out his tongue with pliers. He is last seen being led away by the guards, and it is unknown what will become of him. 3 months later, the prison is closed after Kyle returns to the United States and reveals Krabavy's corruption. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.